Hi, this is Mike from Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, and this is your Pfaff 130. And this is the final test of your Pfaff 130 before we pack her up and ship her out. And in this test, we're going to go over the basics, how to wind a bobbin, how to thread the machine, how to adjust the stitch length, the stitch width, how to set the machine to use the stitch pattern cams on the back. We'll show you how to adjust the tension, how to adjust the pressure on your sewing foot, and just basically how to work this machine. And you may already be familiar with this machine, but just in case you're not, we're going to start by winding a bobbin. And to wind the bobbin, go around this little tension device here, down into this tension device here, and up to your bobbin winder. And put your thread through the little slot in the side of the bobbin, and hold on to the tail there, while you put several wraps of thread on the bobbin, just to hold it in place while the bobbin winds. Put it on the winder with the thread coming on over the top this way, and turn the rubber tire until the keeper on the bobbin winder goes into the slot on the side of the bobbin. Take up a little bit of slack there. Declutch your machine by turning the chrome knob in the center of your hand wheel towards you about a quarter of a turn till you feel it hit its stop. Now the hand wheel can spin without cycling the machine. Press the lever on the bobbin winder down, and this little finger will drop into the bobbin. And as it fills, this lever is going to lift up until it releases the bobbin, so you don't overfill it. So press the lever down so your rubber tire is in contact with the hand wheel, and we're ready to wind. Give the hand wheel a little turn towards you as you start to pump the foot pedal. And we're not going to fill an entire bobbin for this test, so we're going to stop there. Click the little finger to release, retighten the knob in the center of the clutch wheel, and hello.
Hello.
We're making a tutorial video.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. To insert your bobbin in the bobbin case, it can be reached through the side here, but it's easiest to just release the treadle belt and raise the machine, and your bobbin case is held in by this little lever on the side of the bobbin case. You hold that lever and it'll pull right out, as long as your needle is not down in that area. We'll drop out the bobbin that's in here now and insert the one that we just wound. When you put your bobbin in the bobbin case, you want the thread coming off this side from the top of the bobbin. Drop it in the bobbin case and guide your thread into the little slot on the side here and up under the leaf spring until it clicks into place. And now when you pull the thread, you'll see the bobbin spin. When you insert the bobbin in the bobbin case, you'll see that there's an opening in the top of the bobbin, so that's going to be pointed up. Hold your lever out, and that'll keep your bobbin from dropping out while you're moving it around. Here's the machine. Put your bobbin into the bobbin race. Make sure it goes all the way in so it doesn't fall out when you're trying to sew. And just leave your thread hanging down there. To thread the machine, put your thread on the spool pin, go around that same tension device. Wait, first go under this thread guide, then go over the tension device, then down between the concave discs, I guess they're convex discs, of the tension assembly, all the way around until you can pick up the check spring at the top. Then when you pull it, you'll see the check spring move. Go under the big thread guide, up to the next thread guide, and through the take-up lever from right to left. Go into the thread guide on the faceplate, and down to the thread guide on the needle clamp. And your needle will thread from front to back. And I want to cut a nice clean end on this, and I did not think to bring any scissors. Let's see if my pocket knife is sharp enough to cut a clean end. Oh, better yet, your nail clippers. If you try to thread the needle with a frayed end on your thread, it's just going to push the thread away from the needle hole and give you all sorts of trouble. So nice clean on your end on your thread, and through the needle from front to back. Your thread between the toes of the presser foot. Place your fabric under the presser foot and lower the presser foot using the lever on the back of the machine. It's a good idea to hold your threads for the first stitch or two until the lock stitch locks in place. Give your hand wheel a little turn towards you as you start to treadle, just to make sure you're going in the right direction. And you're off and sewing. This is your stitch length here. As you go higher and higher, your stitch length gets longer and longer. Yeah, that's a nice looking, well balanced stitch. And the center position at 0, the fabric doesn't move at all. And if you keep treadling in that position, your thread's just going to ball up underneath your needle plate and make a mess, and you'll have to stop and cut it out. So going up in increments from 1 to 5, your stitches get longer and longer, and going down from 0, your stitches get longer and longer, but in reverse. So we're going to set it at about 2. That's a pretty good average stitch length. And off we go. Give a little turn towards you. Start treadling. There we go. This is your stitch width. The scale is marked from 0 to 4. There's an L on there that I've never seen before on a Pfaff 130. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm sure your user manual will tell you. So for a zigzag stitch, let's go all the way up to, make sure the needle's up out of the fabric, go all the way over to 4, for the widest stitch width. You can see the needle rigging and zagging as we go. Yeah, that's a nice looking zigzag. This is your upper tension, and your upper tension regulates how tight your stitches get pulled up. So if your stitches are loose and loopy on the bottom, you probably need a little more tension. If they seem real tight and puckered, you may want to let the tension off a little bit. Your sewing foot pressure mainly has to do with the sort of material you're sewing. For a lighter fabric, you may need a little less pressure. You turn your adjuster in the counterclockwise direction. If you're sewing something heavy duty, you may want to turn it down a little bit, add more tension in the clockwise direction. This is your feed drop if you want to do darning or mending or machine embroidery, that sort of thing, and you want to move the fabric by hand without the feed dogs moving the fabric. Turn this knob and that drops the feed, and the teeth of the feed dogs don't come up high enough to contact the fabric and move it, and you move the fabric by hand. You'll also, to do that, you'll want to let off as much pressure on your sewing foot as is required. These two levers back here have to do with the decorative pattern cams. And you'll see them moving anytime you use the machine up. But unless you engage the lever in the back using this knob here, it doesn't affect your stitch at all. So to use your embroidery section on the back here, this dial here has a little keeper pin in it that's ordinarily setting in its little groove here in line with the pointer. But for to use the embroidery section, turn that so the little keeper pin is out of the slot, and it'll go further down and it will engage with the lever behind it. And this lever connects it to the embroidery system, and now they're going to move your needle. Actually, what they're going to move is your stitch width section, and that's what's going to make your pattern. So, all right, let's do that. Your A lever is what selects the type of stitch that you're going to have. And you have, I think you have, well, let's see how many. There's 0, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 stitch possibilities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I guess there's not a 0 selection. So we're just going to choose a stitch. We're going to use number 3. This lever over here, your B lever, is what adjusts that stitch pattern that you've selected to make it longer or shorter. Or you'll read more about that in your user manual. So we're going to set on stitch pattern 3. B is in the 2 position. And our stitch width, let's see, our stitch length, let's make it short. Let's go about 1. So here we go. And watch this lever, and you'll see it moving all by itself as you're working. And here goes. Oh, that made a nice looking scallop stitch. Beautiful. Let's try a different one. Always take your needle up out of the fabric before you change your stitch width or your embroidery pattern, so you don't bend the needle when the needle bar moves. This is stitch pattern number 4. Never let your hand wheel turn counterclockwise. You always want it to turn towards you. Ooh, that's a pretty stitch. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, that's how you work your embroidery section. Another way that you can vary your embroidery stitch is with the with this lever here, and that selects the needle position. You have left, center, and right position. Right now it's in the center position, but if you push this lever in and down, it goes to the I'm sorry, it was in the right hand position. Push the lever down and move it up, and you go to the center position, push it in and go one more click up, and you're in the right hand needle position. So it's this lever here. Push it up, push it down, and there, that's the center position. To go back to straight stitching, pull this knob out so it releases the lever in the back, and turn it until the keeper pin goes into its little divot there in the selector pointer. We're going to put it on 0 again, and now we're straight stitching. So that's basically it. If you have any further questions and you can't find the answer in your user manual, and we'll probably send you a PDF user manual. I don't know that I have another paper manual, but I'll check. And with your PDF user manual, you can view it on screen at whatever size suits your eyesight, or you can print it out and keep a copy with your machine, or you can do both. And that's about it. If you came here from somewhere else on the internet, found this video, we are Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, and we restore vintage sewing machines. We're on Stagecoach Road out in the Coast Range of Oregon. So we are stagecoachroadsewing.com. And if you come out to our website, you'll see hundreds and hundreds, literally hundreds and hundreds of beautiful machines that we've restored over the decades. And you'll see views from all different angles, and probably a little bit of information about the machine. And at the top of the page, there are usually 15, 20, 30 machines that are available for sale. Nice, freshly restored machines in every shape and style and model. And you can take one home to your own sewing room. So again, we are stagecoachroadsewing.com, and we'll see you there.